Schedule a free design consultation, and the more you buy, the more you'll save on blinds, shades, shutters, and more from Budget Blinds. Visit budgetblinds.com today.
Joins us with sports, and the Holy Rosary Invitational Basketball Tournament got underway in the border city.
8 boys teams, 6 girls teams, and a trio of Holy Rosary squads were also in the mix in town. They involved, and we begin with the Raiders senior boys taking on Bethlehem Collegiate from Saskatoon. Go to the highlights. The Raiders trailed 33-25 at the half, but they started getting things going in the third. Mike McDonald going off glass, that lead down to 6. Next possession, McDonald again going up, but Austin Blyce coming up with the huge block. Raiders will still try to chip away. Ramon Simbulin, nice little step back jumper, 34-31 for the Stars. But the Raiders couldn't close the gap after that in the fourth. John Manlolo takes the bounce pass and cashes in the easy bucket. Then Lawrence Tudd, nothing but nylon. Bethlehem puts this one to bed, defeating the Raiders 64-47. Moving on to the girls' draw, Holy Rosary taking on Cold Lake this afternoon. And it was the Royals getting the jump early in transition. Olivia Lay with the lay-in, part of an 11-2 run for Cold Lake to start the game. But the Raiders come back. Ashley Eistetler from the elbow gets the bank to drop. Royals lead 18-13 at the end of one. Second quarter, now 23-21. Raiders grab the loose ball, and Deidre Dressler, 1-on-3, gets the basket to drop to tie the ball game. But the Royals would close out the half with a couple points, including the steal by Lay, once again causing the turnover, and goes in for the deuce, 27-23. Cold Lake goes on to win 54-48. Now the senior girls will play again tonight at 8:30, as the senior boys will go tomorrow morning in the relegation side, including the boys junior varsity team who lost to Beaumont Composite earlier today. Moving on now to hockey. The Lloydminster Bobcats are in their final stretch of the regular season with just 2 games left, both on the road in Fort McMurray. And now the Cats can clinch second in the North, so their destiny is in their own hands.
And we've got a pretty good rivalry against Fort McMurray, so there'd be nothing better for us to go in there and just secure second place on our own and forget about what's going on in the rest of the world around us.
The rookies are aware of the history with the Oil Barons this weekend, which feels more like a playoff series.
Losing out to them last year, like I've heard of in Game 7, I mean, it sounded heartbreaking. So, I mean, these 2 games could really foreshadow us meeting them in the playoffs. So, there can be a lot of emotion in these games, and hopefully we do get another shot at them in the playoffs. That would be good.
So to break down the scenario, the Cats can clinch second place in the North with just a point or a Bonneville Pontiac's loss, who, by the way, are in action this weekend on the road tonight in Whitecourt and then in Spruce Grove tomorrow. Now the Baker Hughes Bobcats opened off their playoff run as they hosted SSAC for Game 1 of the AMHL semifinals. The AAA Cats were missing some key pieces to the lineup, with Zane Franklin, Kobe Moore, and Jansen Leslie all competing at the Canada Winter Games. First period, scary moment for the Bobcats AP, Chase Stevenson. He gets hit into the boards by Braden Nesbitt, and he stayed down for quite some time. He would try to get up under his own power, but having issues. No word on the extent of the injury. Scoreless after 20. Middle frame, Austin McGrath. He would get tested, and tested early. Not once, but if you'll see here, for the second time, making the nice save. Shortly after that, he'll flash the leather. No big deal. Cats looking to score. Check out these moves by Tanner Fleck. Beats the goalie, but defenseman Connor Rokosh gets a piece of it with his own stick. Very impressive play, and that was huge because 3 minutes left in the period. SSAC's Scott Hunger bangs away the rebound, 1-0 Edmonton. Final frame now, Dalton Engelveit. Point blank, he's denied by Matthew Berlin. Frustration starting to mount a little bit later. Carter Shukalik takes a shot on McGrath, and that's a no-no, says Chandler Klein. And of course, the SSAC guys get in the mix as well. There would be an extra penalty on the Cats, or to the Cats on the play. Final seconds start to tick away. Last chance at a face-off, but no dice. Baker Hughes Bobcats comeback falling short. They lose 1-0. And now to the Junior B Bandits. They returned to the ice for Game 1 of the Northern Alberta semifinals, and they were taking on the rested, and I mean well-rested, Wainwright Bisons. And as you see By that scoreline, they had no problems with the Bandits. 7-1 was the final. They take a 1-0 series lead. Jesse Stansfield, the lone tally for the Bandits. Game 2 goes Saturday night in Wainwright. And that is all the time you have in our first look at sports. Gerard Lampeau has your weather details coming up. After a disheartening loss to Olds College last night, the Lady Rustlers Volleyball team had to play for pride today, taking on the Nate Ooks. In the first set, Rustlers were in tight. Annika Koos' kill attempt denied by Isabel Hess. That tied things up at 20. Now 24-22 Rustlers. Hess coming into your screen. Bit of a knuckler that pulls Nate within one. Next possession, Tiffany Evans. She will end up putting her hit attempt into the net. Rustlers will take the opening set. The Ooks playing catch-up for most of this match. In the second, getting the block on Shelby Becker, 23-18 Rustlers. The black and gold pull it out, though, with a service ace by Maddie Chauvet. Rustlers would go on to take the third set as well and advance to the fifth place game tomorrow afternoon in a straight sets victory. Now, he's the voice of the Lloydminster Bobcats and the link that allows fans and family members better access to the team. Kyle Harris was hired last summer to provide play-by-play on Lloyd FM. And this weekend, he will complete a full season behind the mic. Nerman Issa caught up with Harris and has more on the first year with the Bobcats.
Back for Vantina, plays it in front for Brendan. Back for Allen, winds and fires, scores!
Perched up in the corner of the Civic Center, Kyle Harris has a bird's eye view of the action below. It's a first for the Lloydminster Bobcats, a full-time play-by-play radio announcer, allowing fans and family members to feel like they're at the game when they're not at the rink.
A lot of people, the first thing they'll say is they're surprised it took this long to get a full-time play-by-play broadcast, but you know, it takes a while to work out a deal with a radio station that wants to, you know, solidify or put away that amount of airtime for a 60-game season. So, you know, when I found out the deal was made between Lloyd FM and the Bobcats, you know, I was thrilled to hear about the job opportunity. And
with just one preseason game called under his belt, Kyle stepped up to the mic on September 5th to announce his first regular season game.
Home opener, first game of the year. It was pretty exciting, I'm not going to lie. I had some nerves for sure, and you know, they're down 3-2. Springer ties it up with 20 seconds left.
Here's Coons, shot on goal, tipped in front, Tommy Nixon save, rebound, scores! Lincoln Springer, the Border City bad boy!
You know, to see the hometown kid, the captain, do that was pretty cool, and then nothing solved in overtime, goes to a shootout. And you know, it's one of those where it's like, well, how do you call a shootout? How do you describe that?
It's a chance to seal the fate for the Bobcats. Right-handed shot, he comes straight in on Nixon. Nixon challenging, and teetering peaks, comes in, score!
While fans can tune into a Bobcats game online using Fast Hockey, for some family members, getting the chance to watch and hear the game is more exciting.
With Kyle being on this year, it's been great being in Calgary, and Fast Hockey, not always is the commentating on Fast Hockey as good as what Kyle is.
While the Greens made the trip out here from Calgary to cheer on netminder Devin Green, it's not always possible to watch him live, so it's nice to know they have a backup plan with Kyle.
I've been fortunate enough to even talk to some parents on those southern rolling stones. We have a lot of Calgary parents, and you know, they really enjoy it. And I know the Gearys down in Illinois, like, they tune in religiously. So it's awesome to hear that, you know, I can give them, you know, that option of hearing their son on the road when they're not able to watch him. When you see these guys score their first career AJHL goal. Here's Bench now, left side, back door, and he scores! Kevin Durant with his first Alberta Junior Hockey League goal. You know, their parents are listening in, and you get to describe it for them, and you bring the emotion for it, so it's neat to do that.
Well, this may be Kyle's first year doing radio. It's not his first stint with the Bobcats. You see, he actually suited up in the orange and black for 3 seasons as a center, starting back in 2009.
Second period, Bobcats equalize. Gartner's shot doesn't get through, but Kyle Harris buries one. Then, in overtime, he gets the game winner.
A bit of a transition, obviously, going from being on the ice the past 18 years to now all of a sudden up in the broadcast, now playing. So it's been a nice transition.
As for how Kyle calls a game, he's still trying to find his own game per se, looking upon his broadcasting idols for inspiration.
A guy like Jack Michaels for the Oilers, he's very good with both teams. I mean, he's not too biased, but you know, when you hear the other team scores, he's just as excited for the Oilers. And you know, Doc Emmerich with NBC. There's a lot of guys that I look up to, and I kind of tried to mold after that.
When asked to rate his first year as the voice of the Bobcats, Kyle says he still has some work to do.
I don't know if I want to give myself a grade, and I'll give it a modest, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. But there's still, I mean, lots to learn. It's been a great first year, and looking forward to another year.
Nara Manisa, Newcap Sports.